Well, hello everyone. My name is Japer Araujo. I am 19 years old and I'm studying English. Well, this is my final project about the COVID-19 in Peru. So let's begin. And the first question is how the first case arrived in Peru. The first case of coronavirus, it was a 25 years old man who works as a plane pilot on LATAM Airlines and who came from Europe after traveling on vacations in Spain, France, and the Czech Republic, as reported the Ministry of Health. He entered Peru on February 26 on a flight from Europe, possibly Spain. The airline LATAM has ruled out that the entry is usually one of the aircraft, so the only possibility was he traveled like a passenger. The Ministry of Health detailed that person entered Peru without showing symptoms, and it was only on February 29 that he began to manifest fever, general discomfort, cough, nasal congestions, and headache. And finally, on Thursday, March 5, an epidemiology team took the samples from the person, and at the dawn of March 6, it was determined positive of COVID-19. Sorry, 19. And the second question is what and where the guidelines that the government took to stop the pandemic given. The executive branch is taking a seriously of measures at the national level to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Below of my document is the list. Transfer of resources for 100,000 soles for the Ministry of Health, aim of strengthening prevention, control, surveillance, and health response systems. Classes in public and private schools throughout Peru has suspended until March 30. That measures also apply to universities and technical institutes, but it was extended for more than 2 months. Home quarantine for passengers entering to the country from China, France, Spain, and Italy for a period of 14 days. Ban all events and activities involving a capacity of more than 300 persons and a lot of more than a few restrictions. The third question is how did the people react to these guidelines? Well, the only word which defines the reaction was a chaos. A lot of person got mad, angry, horrified. The most huge historic collective in Peru because other person think we are going to die and take all the money and go to the stores and bought all the pH and the food and the sanitizer because they thought that resources would run out and really quickly and obviously it was a really wrong of the population. The next question was what were the sanitary measures that government implied and how the person react to these measures. The first measure was the use of the mask in the face of prevention of the contamination and the use of alcohol held in the hands of clean it. Also keep a distance of 1 meter, but if more if you touch them better. Of the person other mentions is stay at home all the time the quarantine lasted. The only time you can go out it's just for necessary purchase and only one person for family with a mask and gloves like I said. The people don't take good this measure because pause almost all the economy in Peru because in Peru there are a lot of person with scarce resources for living. This person live a day. If they don't work for a day, they don't eat. And there's a lot of person who continues go out for take air and take a walk, but this is so dangerous, so risky, and because could infect him and all his family only for take a walk. The second question is how will this pandemic affect the economy of our country? Affect a lot of Peruvian economy because we are in a country which everyone's always working for living 24/7. The most damage on the pandemic was in the economy of Peru. Now the president is giving bonds to the families with the fewest resources so that can survive the rest of the pandemic. Taking the money out of the communal coffers in the long terms will affect the Peruvian economy, and we will reach a critical point if measures are not taken in due time. Although the economy is seen to be in danger little by little, the Peruvian economy began to restart, letting companies gradually return to work, but with the greatest possibilities care. And the second question is, what is the reality that you can observe in Peruvian hospital right now? All the hospitals in Peru are really full with patients of COVID-19 because now is the most important thing of care. There are many hospitals that are not enough with beds, respirators, among other medical devices or the treatment of the patient with the COVID. The worst case of the scenario is the patient has to be on the sofas or the reception for now. The at the hospital has problems with the use of artificial respirators that they have because they come to missing parts. The second question is, what do you suggest to change Peruvian people minds in order to change that their behaviors? Peruvians are stubborn. My father's one, but I want in that way they're thinking in according of their priving. They receive that is why are more arrested for not respecting the quarantine than infected in Peru. But I will suggest that they be positive that this will happen and everything will be as before, even better, because health will be the main topic. They will talk about this betterment of the country and will be good for story to tell, saying that you were that percent of the humanity that survived a global pandemic. And the last question is, if you were the president of Peru, what measures or decisions would you implement to stop the pandemic? To be honest, the current president is doing a very good job in his power to keep all the Peruvians alive. But what will make it more drastic with the people who leave their houses without any extra need, because the military forces strive so hard to maintain our security and the best way so that people without culture go out and put them and the law enforcement authorities at risk. Give compulsory military services to responsible people who take to the streets during curfew hours, spread fear in the people so they don't leave their homes and wait for the numbers of infected to drop. So that's all my video. I hope you enjoy, and this is my final project. Thanks a lot.